Emily, thanks. What are the next chess moves here? Let's bring in Sarah Fagan, a Republican strategist. She's also an NBC News contributor and former White House political director under President George W. Bush. Sarah, it's great to see you again. Welcome.
Hi, Kelly.
So at this point, do they just empower McHenry? Because if they try to elect him, I don't know if granted he'd have more power that way, but it just seems unlikely that it can get done.
Well, he is an interesting consensus figure, well respected by all factions, I think, of the Republican Party, including former President Trump, which is not an insignificant person in this process. So, but I think the smarter strategy for Congressman McHenry is to sort of ascend into this role as this, consensus choice, even if some of the power of the speakership is limited, because the reality is this is likely, and I think this is what's happening for most members of Congress. They're looking at running for this and saying this is maybe a 6-week job, because when I have to push the conference to raise the debt ceiling in November, I'm likely to have the same fate as the previous speaker. And who wants to sign up for that?
Right.
And so this potentially is an interesting solution that sort of gets the government what it needs, but has a leader in place.
What are the further implications? We mentioned that President Biden in Israel promised aid, but in order to do so, Congress has to authorize or approve it. And it sounds like the aid package under consideration right now could be $100 billion in size, covering Israel, Ukraine, and Taiwan.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is not a good look for the United States, that as the world is having so many challenges, we don't have a functioning legislative branch right now. And so something does need to get done. Congressman McHenry is among the most gifted legislators that exist in the Congress. So it's actually an excellent choice for the government and for the Republican Party. And so I have a lot of confidence in his ability to maneuver. But look, we're just not in a good place as a party, as a country right now, where there's so much division, and you've got a handful of members that really have the ability to sort of stop progress, and that's very frustrating. And it's happening to Republicans now, and I suspect Leader Jeffries, is looking over his shoulder, wondering what it would be like if he became Speaker in 2 or 4 years. He's likely to face the same challenges.
Right. And I want to mention the market tone has improved a little bit here in the last couple of minutes. But do you think that rising bond yields are tied to the lack of leadership in Congress, where in Chris Christie, I don't know if you caught his interview earlier, Squawk on the Street, it was really interesting, but he kind of talked about the need to get leadership in Washington that can push for improvement on the fiscal front. And that seems like, the very bottom of the barrel right now. My understanding is that the kinds of deals people want, even to keep these Speaker pro tems or whomever in place, a lot of them would increase, the amount of spending, or at least not decrease it. So that seems like it might be hurting here.
Yeah, I think, look, the most important factor here is uncertainty. Markets don't like uncertainty. People don't like uncertainty. Other countries, when they see uncertainty, potentially strike. And I don't doubt that, our dysfunction in Washington is having an impact globally as well, relative to people's actions, insurgents, terrorists, remnants of the communist, Russia. Like, that all is having an impact, and it undoubtedly is having an impact on the markets too. So certainty most important, but yes, at the end of the day, the country does need to figure out how to balance its priorities, which is certainly going to include aid to Israel, but how to also get its fiscal house in order. And that is a very tall proposition given the current makeup of the Congress.
Yeah.
But both parties need to elect leaders who can do this.
A tremendous challenge. I think it's going to shape the election if things stay the way that they are. Sarah, for now, thanks. We appreciate your time this afternoon.